Hello, and welcome to the next installment in my Metroid series. Sorry, that music gets me every time. I have such a fondness for this game that no one will ever realize. And I'm cheating a little bit when I'm recording this because I'm not playing this on its original hardware. I'm emulating this. But I own this game, but I wanted to show this off in a proper way. I wanted to pay respect to this game in a way that I feel it deserves. If I were to play this on the original hardware and try to record it and all that, it just wasn't going to look that good. So here it is, bumped up to show off what it, to me, is like a homage to it. This game currently is being filtered in a 1080p at 4 times MSA, which not everyone's going to understand what that means. All you need to know is it's making the game look great. Now, comparatively, I could do a bunch of stuff to this and make it look absolutely horrible. And I would absolutely love to show off what the original, what I was probably going to get is, but all I can tell you is it's going to be 480p fuzzy. If you really want to understand how bad this is going to probably look, go to a YouTube video, and if it has the option for something like 240p, 480p, click either of those. On a modern screen, that's going to look bad. But the sad part is, for something like a CRT screen, that looks amazing, and no one will ever understand that. But like here, if you can see it digitally, how there's a lot of blockiness and pixels, it is really hard to force that into something that looks great when it was meant for a screen that naturally rolled and fuzzed everything over to blend it in. But this should look nice and clean for everyone, so it's not a blurry mess, which is why this video is taking a little longer after Metroid Prime 1 to start. Now, as you can see, I have already multiple times messed with this. This was a personal, I was trying to move some data stuff around and whatnot, but we're gonna start clean. We'll start with you, because all it is just from the beginning. But like, comparatively to Metroid Prime 1, Metroid Prime 2 is a bit more tech and themed. Like, there are some natural elements to it, but it doesn't feel like... How do I put it? It actually feels like a world that's lived in. Whereas Metroid Prime 1, like, don't get me wrong, there are some tech elements to it. Like, when you're first starting up the game, you're on a giant space frigate. When you go down to the planet, there's a section there where you're seeing the remains of that frigate, and you're experiencing a new area that is being somewhat colonized. Whereas the rest of it just feels abandoned, run down, or is just wild. You run into, a desert area. Oh look, here's another desert area with a mine attached to it. Oh look, here's a natural jungle. Oh crap, we're in the middle of a volcano. Who the hell left the AC on over here? That, to me, is kind of what the environments in Metroid Prime 1 feel like. Not to say it's bad. No. But it feels like you're on an alien planet. Whereas this one feels like you're on an alien planet. Sorry, let me rephrase it. First one makes you feel like you're on an alien planet. This one makes you feel like you're on another alien's planet. You are the trespasser. You are visiting someone else's world. You are effectively exploring what feels like a lost civilization. And this will capture that for me in many aspects, why I enjoy that. Now, just because I'm emulating this doesn't mean that I'm not doing this in any unreasonable way. Like, for example, I am using a GameCube controller to play this game. And if you want to know how I'm doing that, all you need to know is the emulator has a setting to where it can recognize external devices. And if you have the little GameCube adapter for Wii U or the Nintendo Switch when they redid it again, that works on PC. And there is an aftermarket one that has a PC/Wii mode on it. And if you put it in PC mode, you can use it for other games and stuff. I think Steam has a setting to recognize it. But if you do it for the emulator, you have to keep it like that device would recognize it. So you would have to put it in Wii U or Switch mode. And then and only then does it recognize it. So that's currently how I'm adapting it. So I am playing this as original as it would be. So, besides the updated graphics, which I'm half tempted to call this Metroid Prime 2 Remastered, but I feel like that would be a really bad, shall we say, false advertisement. So, fun fact, growing up, I want to say when I was playing this is probably like in my 7 to 8 year old days. A lot of these words in this game, I was like, a lot of this game told, or not this particular game, but this series taught me a lot of words. But it was essentially using that part of my brain, because anyone that is learning English for the first time will tell you English is a confusing language. So growing up, there were a lot of words that I knew, I just didn't know how to say properly. Like, for example, you take, let's just take a simple word, gravity. Yeah, as a kid, I was saying gravity. Because again, a lot of us were probably taught, that whole sound it out. You got that gra, you got the av, and then itty. So gravity, not gravity. And then there's a few other words here, like aether. Growing up, a lot of words you have to pronounce a lot of their letters, and then some, don't at all. Like phone. You're not saying phone. You just say phone. And for ether, I never pronounced it as ether. I always called it aether. Which, kind of close, but not so much. God, this looks amazing to me. Now the question is it gonna play amazing? Like, I know the gameplay. I'm just talking about the emulation aspect of it. Okay, so there is a little stutter, but not too bad. So, until Nintendo and Retro Studios decide to do either a Prime Trilogy for the Wii, Prime Trilogy for the Switch, or a Prime Trilogy-like collection, because it's kind of hard to throw what I imagine is Prime Remastered with 2 other games. Or they do it as a standalone thing, just 1, 2, and 3. It's the Trilogy collection. 3 individual titles, yada yada. Yeah. But this is by far one of my favorite titles, and I probably will not stop saying that, so I'm going to apologize right now. Anyway. And yes, I am going for the scanning everything bit. If you want to read any of this, I absolutely apologize. I am not going to stand here and look up every single bit of text. Like, I can explain some of this. Will I, though? I don't know, it depends. If enough people are sitting there saying, hey, can you stop and read a few every now and then instead of, trying to sprint to the finish? Then maybe. Maybe. Also, I know I'm going to get random people watching this. I understand that. But more often than not, if I'm saying anything, addressing anything, it's usually with certain people in mind. So I'm just going to go ahead and apologize in advance for that. Because I know certain people are going to watch, so, you know, hi Dibs, hi Shadow, hi Tony. And yes, I am saying that weird on purpose. Hello, Vera. Maybe there's a wild squid in here somewhere. Like, I gotta appreciate the fact of how well this looks on this. Because if I was playing it on the original hardware, I would absolutely be setting up a CRT in some way to play this. Which I know, Vera, that would make you absolutely happy to just... I'm playing it as authentic as possible. And believe me, I would love to. I just do not have the patience for trying to get this to be set up on a little CRT and then trying to set up a capture card system and also trying to make sure it's all working in together at the same time. And I know me and Vera both are still trying to figure out ways of emulating a DS, for God's sakes. Which brings me up to a point of whether or not I want to emulate a certain DS title in this series. Because there is a crap ton of Metroid games all over different consoles. And one of the ones, you gotta I'm gonna go ahead and apologize, I'm still trying to remember some of these buttons. Because I could listen to the tutorials. Real men don't need instructions. Sorry, real gamers don't usually follow instructions. Especially if it's not all we own. Now what are those buttons? Yeah, I know it. Just leave me to hell alone. I don't need to be told that pressing A is the bomb. Anyway. But, yeah. I completely forgot what I was saying. And just like that, that thought was a beautiful thought until it was gone. And then... now we don't know what the hell. Anyway. So, this is one of my absolute favorite titles. Played this all the time as a kid. Actually, I beat this game before I beat Metroid Prime 1. And I started Prime 1 first. Got stuck, couldn't play it for a year, did Prime 2, and... I don't know, I was able to beat this one easier than Prime 1. And I'm gonna play this with an air of suspense, like as if I'm doing this for the first time. Because to be honest, I haven't played this in a few years, and I quite literally mean a few years. The last time I played this was on the actual hardware. I went over to a friend's house. You know who you are. She's probably watching right now. She probably even remembers this. Go ahead and type some in the comments if you've gotten to this part of the bit that I'm talking about and you know actually, absolutely what I'm talking about. Just type I was there. Anyway. So, went over to a friend's house, and for some reason, I got into a real gaming mood that week. I was just gung-ho. This is on my brain. I have to. I need to. Whatever you want to say. Addiction, obsession, whatever. I was just this. I don't care if I'm there or here. I'm hooking this up, and I'm playing. Like, I'm not gonna be disrespectful and be like, "Take me out of my room for this." No, it was essentially just like, "Hey, if you're busy, I brought my own sense of entertainment." Because oddly enough, why are we targeted down there? Some of the people I hang with, we all have a sense of like chill personality where like, yeah, we hang out, but we have moments where we get distracted and like doing something. It's kind of like coming over to a friend's house while they're, you know, already doing something on their own. And it's just like, hey man, you mind if I chill here for a bit? Yeah, sure, there's a chair. Knock yourself out. So my friends, I'll like pop by while they're doing something because they like, you know, hey, come on by, I'll show you something really quickly. They show the really quick thing, and I'm pretty sure they don't have the tendency to be like, oh, well, sorry I made you waste all that gas to come over here for 5 seconds to see this really cool thing I'm doing. There's the door, goodbye. So a lot of times they'll be interested in what I'm doing too, and this time I was playing this game. And I had already started, so I was like a little more than halfway through this game. And so I was like playing this, my friend, she was interested in me more than she was the game. So it was just like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. My friend happened to come through while I was in the middle of a boss fight, and I don't know what happened. I think he either unplugged the GameCube itself, and yes, I was doing this on the GameCube. I wasn't doing this on the Wii, in which we're doing smarter a little bit, but I was doing this on the GameCube, and they accidentally unplugged it in some way, mid-boss fight. And it was just like, how dare you? I like vowed revenge for like a solid 2 months. Like, I was getting to the point that it's like, I'm gonna talk to his family and we're gonna find him when he's in his room, and while he's doing something, I'm gonna go to his breaker panel and just click. Yeah. Well, isn't this interesting? We're in some place we don't recognize, we got a copy of us, and oh, look at that, they're all pissed. Now we're dead. Oh no, what's going on? Whew, that was close. We escaped. Sorry, I'm gonna sound stupid. This is legitimately one of my most exciting moments is playing this game again. And again, it actually looks pretty good for the way I got the setup. And it's actually playing really good. Holy heck. Weirdly enough, not recording usually causes a bit of stammering. Apparently I'm taking away from the right resources to actually make this game play right. Well good, if I ever want to use the simulator again, I just gotta record something. That sounds amazing. Oh, look at that, I've lost a lot of things. Guess I didn't lose charge beam this time. Also, oddly enough, I don't know specifically if this is going to be a bit of a hot take. You guys have seen the first game. When they did Prime Remastered, they really didn't change anything that wasn't already there in that game. So it was like, oh, you know, this is what you got, just with better graphics, better, I guess, compiling of it. So, like, the music sounds better, the visuals sound better. But that was it. There was no altered gameplay. It wasn't, you know, like, oh, let's tweak this here, add this piece here, move this ability here. Nothing like that. That was 100% how it played, how it looked, how it acted. And everything from the like, the only thing that I swear was changed in-game, probably besides a couple bug fixes maybe, was some of the menu options. Because obviously, you know, you're on the Switch, not the GameCube, you can't do some of the same stuff. So when they were doing like the controls or how like they show the Switch in the menu, that was all on the GameCube. You saw a picture of the GameCube. Now the control stick thing, they didn't really have that, but they had something. I just can't remember specifically what it was. Because I mean, for here, I could go to options, I can go to controls. This is the most you're gonna get. You know, do you want the rumble or do you want to invert your x-axis? That's it. And for me, I do want rumble. Now, whether it's working or not, I actually don't know. I'm not paying attention to it. And weirdly enough, the menu between Prime 1 and Prime 2 is severely different, as you just saw. But I actually do like the Prime 2 version for one reason. It lets you know when there's something new. So you see here, we got the logbook. Everything's orange, right? It means there's stuff that we can read. Mechanisms. Okay, we got the bomb slot. And then it turns blue when we're done there. Got this gate. Got this vehicle. Got the gunship. Keep going, you know, you got all these different evidence. So you could read through it. You know what's going on. You go through Prime 1, you don't know if you scanned it or not. And it's not like there's an easy, you know, like, oh, let's go back and visit that. Whereas here, you actually update the logbook. You absolutely see those details. Also, I almost forgot about it. That hot take. So in Prime 1, you have a lot of mechanics that seem to be kind of forgotten or underutilized. Like Spider Ball was kind of a means of like, oh, well, let's hop around kind of thing, or just quickly, you know, like when I say hop around, I mean like, oh, let's go up there to go over here, and there you go. Like there's no fancy anything. It's just, you know, you go up, you bomb jump over here, good to go, that's it. Whereas in Prime 2, they actually do a bit more with it. They introduce it into certain aspects of the game. Like there's a boss fight centered around doing Spider Ball, which I enjoy. They actually give you a sort of purpose to those abilities. And in Prime 1, I'm pretty sure everyone that has seen this has seen the Prime 1 one. Maya Ridley fight, some of the weapons felt highly underutilized, like with the alternate modes and stuff like that. Whereas here, they actually kind of feel a bit more useful. And even in a lot of boss fights, you can actually utilize them without, you know, like, oh, hey, let me do the ice spreader, and all of a sudden, crap, it missed. Or let me do this slow attack of the flamethrower that uses about 50 missiles per second. So, here you tend to get a few more enemies and actually a good couple choices to be creative in how you dispose of them. And even here, you get a bunch of different ways of like interacting with your environment. And like here, this feels alien to me. This does not feel like being on a garden world or something like that. Like, oh, hey, there's a weird plant that blows up. Yeah, that feels a little alien to me, but like, none of this really feels like this certainly does not look like you would just, oh look, we're in the middle of Canada. What the hell is, yeah, that doesn't really look normal. This actually looks foreign. And it intrigues me, you know, it's like, what happened? What are you? Even just some of the architecture for stuff, like, yeah, I'm trying to get a scan, usually I can get a peek. Oh, I saw it there for a split second. Oh, triggered the cutscene. Welcome to Temple Grounds, where the atmosphere is turning purple, because it was trying to show that and convey that in the beginning, and we just weren't paying attention. I can see the portal. Can I get the scan? Oh, I already got the scan. Okay, good enough. Hey, Splinter! Tells you how many times I played this game. I know the enemies' names, like in the first one. Ah, Splinters, it's good to see you. And no, I can't actually do harder difficulty. You have to beat the original to get that. Which I find really stupid, just in general. That's why I like a lot of modern titles, because you can just straight up just... Listen, we know you might want to play this later. Here's the medium or normal difficulty, if you want it. You're not really used to this game, here's the easy mode. The whole point's to enjoy it. And you got those people that just want to constantly eat a bowl of hot sauce in the morning and just put some shards of broken glass in there for fun. Ah, here's your difficulty spike. Here's that legendary mode. Ah, man. It's like seeing an old friend when you play games like this. You know? It's just a certain comfort. Something that you just can't explain. It's just like, that nostalgia really hits you deep in a lot of ways. But the thing is, for me, this game is not one of those like rose-tinted glasses of like, this is how it should be. Because there are modern... Excuse me. There are modern Metroid titles that I consider really good. Like Metroid Dread, I was kind of 50-50 on it in the beginning, but I appreciate that what it is, and it actually is a good game. There's a couple choices to it that I honestly don't really enjoy, but in the aspect of how the game plays, it is certainly not a thing that takes me that far away out of the game. Like for me, I am so used to the old style of 2D games where it's you use the D-pad and you have a arrow up or an arrow down. So having a button that kind of aims your direction while you're also moving just kind of throws me off. To me, it feels like doing too many things at once. Which, oddly enough, is how most people feel about the GameCube controls of this game. Because it's, I guess it's nicknamed tank controls, but that's not what it actually is. Essentially, with the GameCube, if you've never played it, the direction you move is the direction you walk. Sorry, the direction you look is the direction you walk. So if I look forward, I'm moving forward. I move back, I turn right while looking. So you have this weird sense of like, hang on, let me move over. It's almost like driving, you know? You go forward, there is no side to side. So if you want to go that way, you gotta turn that way. Which, to be fair, I am actually a bit more the modern first-person style where you're using two different joysticks, one to move, one to look. It just feels better. But I'm a fan of the old Metroid styles where it's, you know, you get the D-pad to do your controls for going up, down, left, right, and if you want to aim up, you have a specific button to diagonal up, or you have a specific button to lock in place for it. Which I appreciate. There will be more of those. I forgot to scan that. But I appreciate some of the modern ones still keeping the lock feature. I just hate the fact that it's defaulted to be that style. Like, I get some people enjoy that, but let me have my D-pad style. That's all I'm saying. Don't force me to play a style that's going to make it a bit like, I'm addicted, I'm going to have to get over it. No. Just let me be able to play the way I want to play. Want to use D-pad? Why not? Also, that's the one thing I feel like Switch is kind of missing. And I don't mean any kind of personal anything. But I feel like there should be some kind of reward system on Switch for playing the game. Like some kind of achievement of like, hey, you did this to show this off. Ooh. Little hidden message. Reporter, what's going on? That's a weird looking pirate vessel. Even after all these years, that still seems foreign to me, that pirate vessel. And very suggestive of that the Federation style ship there. Sounds decent. Split into units, divide the work up, and try to cover more ground. Until they appeared. It's moments like this in my head, I've got it kind of screwed up that I just want to put like this is a reenactment right here, based on true events. God, I would love to see this all remastered. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe there is a texture pack for this. To where I could, in theory, have better graphics. I might need to look into that. I don't know who you are, but I feel sorry for you. Actually, if I'm correct, it should give me a name. Captain Exeter. I don't know if that's actually the proper pronunciation for it, but I think it sounds a lot better saying Exeter than Exeter. Exeter? I don't know. Anyway. All of these give me their names, where they were assigned to sit, and their sort of positions. So like science, troopers, engineer. I have no idea if this is all for the scan, but I'm gonna do my best anyway. And if I'm correct, that door over there should have opened. Yep. This is their map terminal of the area. Huh. So this is what they all got to explore? Or is this like a local scan sort of thing? That I never understood that, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm kind of just like questioning, you know? Like I'm not unthankful for it. It's just like, do they have advanced tech that I'm not aware of? Or how did they come across this information? I mean, thank you regardless, but I'm just curious. Good week. Alright, next paycheck I'm buying a chair. I will go and find a chair, Vera, I swear. And I'll do it Saturday. Because I work today. Short little stubby missile this time around, eh? The Federation had my tech? Why? And how? Or did I find some plans of theirs type of thing and just made it work for me? Thought I fell there, didn't y'all? Don't worry, I thought I fell too. Well, that was fun. Let's do it again. Oh, hit an invisible wall. Alright, going up. Oh, and actually, there's a few more abilities in this game that are not prevalent in the other games. In Prime 3, there's a few comebacks of certain abilities from this game, but not in Prime 1. Prime 1 had a limited sort of thing. And Prime 3 was weird anyway, with some of their choices. Like, don't get me wrong, the idea of going to different planets, I really love that. Not being able to switch your beams so you just have all of them at once, that was kind of weird for me. It kind of felt, again, like the 2D Metroids. Not a bad thing, but even in Super Metroid, you can kind of turn your stuff on and off. Well, look at that. We got first mention of something called the indigenous people of this planet. What did it say? Yeah. Indigenous to ether, it is sturdy but not indestructible. We'll get there, and I don't need anything right now. I always love those cannons. Ooh, we got a hive for some wasps. Oh, war wasp. And just because I know I'm gonna have to do it later in the game, there we go. She is weak now. It's gonna be a long while before I have to come back and pay off on that, but when I do, ooh, it's gonna be worth it. Now I know there's another hive. There it is. There it is. Alright. Oh, come on. The way that it looked like they originated from the hive that I destroyed already. Psych. Making it seem like I have to come back at the end of the game to make off on that. Where's the other hive that I never got anyway? Because I hear them. Again, where's that hive though? Oh. You can actually see this. For the scan! Worth it. Oh, by the way, if it wasn't clear at this point in the story, we were following some people that disappeared, we've tracked them to here, and we've somehow stranded ourselves here as well. So while we're here, might as well explore and look for them. Well, we looked for them. Now we need to figure out how to get back to our ship. Why are we exploring further? No reason. Like, I'm not joking. That's literally what's going on so far. How many times are you going to tell me that the data was received? It's the only annoying thing about some of the moving enemies. They kind of bother your scans. Ah, see, doesn't this just reek of foreign opportunity here? Just something alien and mysterious about this? It's something that we know. It's a safe station. But what the hell is everything else around here? Am I walking into a hive of something? Maybe. Who knows? I just saved in their nest, maybe. What? Oh, I bounced. Didn't even realize it. See, it's like getting more and more forward, more and more weird. We don't even realize it yet. Alright, what do we got? Oh, more splinters. Happy days. Uh-oh. It's getting corrupted again. Well, they don't look mad. Okay, they are mad. Whoa, down boy. See that first? He attacked me first. No, I'm just kidding. Oh boy, here I go kidding again. Anyway. Combat's a little clunky, but the game is old. I mean, this game was, what, 2004 if I'm not mistaken? The only reason I think I remember that is because I was playing the Japanese version of this game. The Alpha Splinter! Ow. The Japanese version of this game, and weirdly enough, because it was designed by a US-based studio, Retro Studios, the US version came out in 2004, while the Japanese, either translation or version, came out in 2004/2005. Is what it says on the screen. I think it came out without actual research. I think it came out fall of 2004 and then released sometime before spring of 2005. I'll have to look it up and let you know in the next episode what I do, but we'll see. Yeah, this boss fight's kind of easy. I wish I had unlocked the hard difficulty to try it, just like I did for Metroid Prime 1. Again, you can't select that difficulty. Ooh, what's going on? Everything's just more and more questions. Oh yeah, Vera, some of your suit costume designs actually came from this game here. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that before, but now if your audience comes here and sees you playing Samus with this particular suit design, maybe you can point them to this and show them that's the game it came from. Maybe, who knows? Why asking so many questions? No negative impact on the suit's performance, just absorbed alien technology, just don't mind us. What the heck am I stuck on? Oh, the door. Elevator! I have so many memories in this room of just like timing this so I just go through the crevices there. Scan. If I walk any further, it's going to trigger a cutscene. Like that. Ooh. Umos, you say? And he can project holograms. Well, don't they just look fun? I don't know why, the hologram face, eye thing, whatever there, that's not creepy at all. Almost looks like it's a giant crevice in the center of its head. Don't worry, we have assessed that you're not a threat. Yeah, it's a force field. Anyway, fun little story. So, for those of you that are not following along, like the obsessed nerd that I am for the story, long story short, something in Metroid Prime 1, because that's where it started, right? In the first one, something crash landed on the planet and had devastating effects on the environment. Basically, some substance was leaking out of it to the point that it was corrupting, poisoning, and just mutating everything around it. What didn't die would become something horrible. And on that planet, the Chozo, I guess, had visited it and deemed it necessary to secure it off. So they created a way to secure it until someone could come by later and deal with it. Now, by now, most of the Chozo in this universe are long gone. There's no traces, no known evidence of them, and I say most of them because there's still a possibility of there being more somewhere. Because the Chozo are a sentient bird race. They're like us, just birds. So they locked it off until someone could come deal with it, the substance we now know as Phazon. In this game so far, we have something similar to Metroid Prime 1 that had crashed to the planet, but in this case had hit it so hard it knocked it out of orbit in such a way that it created another version of it in another dimension. It disrupted the planet so much it made a copy of it in an alternate universe or an alternate dimension. So we now have this world of light, and we have one in dark, where everything is so opposite that even the very air is toxic. And you'll notice in some places we'll have things that are phasing in and out of each other, like those little portals and all that. Oh great, we've got more alien little portals to corrupt everything. It's alright. Got everything before you could do it. Anyway, but we're starting to see a bit of a similar story, and the fact that we saw a copy of ourselves along with a giant pile of Phazon, that copy was doing something, whether it be taking energy, building resources, whatever. Now we have that to deal with. Now this is the way that we went up to that way. We can't go that way just yet because that's locked by a green hologram. So the only logical thing we can do is go back to this way so we can hit to this elevator. Well, let's start heading that way, I guess. Because I think it's this way, yeah. You can't do anything about that crystal just yet. Ow. Now, I know this will unfortunately be the end here. Gotta leave some suspense for the next episode, I guess. Where we get to go visit the new place. What's that place you call? Well, I could tell you. I could not tell you. I could remember it, or I could sit here stalling trying to remember its name. I'm just kidding. We're in Temple Grounds, and where we're going to be going is a place called Agon Base. Don't believe me? Let's scan the thing, and it'll tell you the same thing I'm telling you. See? I remember. Just like I remember there's a thing to scan right here. Anyway, so we're gonna hit the elevator, and we're gonna go to Agon Base. Unfortunately, this is the only video I'm gonna record and upload today, because I have to get sleep for work, because my job is requiring me to come in today. Yay. Fun. Anyway. You know what? We're gonna move forward. Just be fine. Look at that, we're walking into desert. Doesn't it feel like there's a theme here? I'm gonna go back this way. Oh, what are you? Gotta get all the scans possible. Anyway, this is where I'm gonna have to call it. We'll get to explore Aegon Waste next time. Anyway, and just remember, doesn't matter what time of day you're watching this, have a good day. And as a side note, I guess you can call it inspiration if you want. Be the change you want to be today. Yeah. Try to spread some good karma. I guess you can do it. Just, you know, you get what you give. Be nice. Try to do the best you can. We're all in this together. However you want to put it. Just have a good day. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.